In this episode, we say goodbye and leave Curaçao behind. We set sail towards our next destination, Colombia. This passage is known to be one of the hardest. But first, this is me, Kim. There is Bart, and here is Liz, our little explorer. We sold everything to explore these beautiful places with our tiny 33-foot sailboat, Tranquility. Last week we learned how to freedive and we planned our trip towards Colombia. Unfortunately, we had to postpone our departure. After we postponed our departure towards Colombia, we waited for a new weather window and planned our trip. This passage is known for thunderstorms and Katabatic winds, so we choose a weather window with not much wind and a low Cape index. To be honest, with the delay we have more time to prepare and say goodbye. We tour around the island one more time and visit the Hato caves, a nice walk and tour in and around the caves which were used by slaves who escaped to hide. Bart and I also do a final dive together at the dive shop. We have spent so many hours at this shop. A great place to be and plan your dive trips with. We go to Double Reef this time, which I think is one of the best places to go for a dive.
We're gonna dive the Double Reef, Kim. You've been there before? Alright, so we're switching out the sea. Dat is geen outfit.
Oké, kom
jij
jij
ook,
ook, Julius?
Yo, super gezellig dat jij ook op Curaçao was. Daardoor had Laura haar allerbeste vriendin gevonden.
Jij ook, hè meisje.
Jullie hebben elkaar hier ontmoet en we gaan elkaar nog heel vaak zien, oké? Alleen het duurt nog eventjes.
Duurt eventjes. We kunnen bellen en foto's maken. And the hardest part of leaving is saying goodbye, especially to this lovely family and new friends. We enjoyed spending time together. We will miss that for sure, and Liz will definitely miss her best friend. It was heartbreaking to see them say goodbye. We are getting ready for departure. Today is the day we leave Curaçao and head towards Colombia.
Maar Louter gaat ook straks heel snel komen. Heel snel komen varen en dan gaat Louter.
This is it. We are leaving Curaçao. We are entering or nearing the entrance towards the ocean again after almost 6 months. We are sailing again, or moving forward. And we're on the ocean again. I feel a little bit sad leaving, but also excited. Looking forward to visit Colombia, but definitely will miss Curaçao. We just left. I think Curaçao is also disagreeing with us to leave.
Chose for the window with which had very little winds to no wind at all. So that means it's an engine trip. Probably 2 full days of engine hours and maybe a little bit of sailing after Cabo de Vela. We hope we have got some acceleration winds and some Katabatic winds that will push us forward. That's also the reason, well, if you've seen our latest episode, that's also the reason why we did not want to sail there with a lot of wind. To the bow of our boat, we see some flamingos flying. That's great, I guess.
Liz, wat ben je aan het eten? Wat is dat?
Een tosti.
A grilled sandwich. Wauw, mooie lucht.
We have left Curaçao behind and now we are heading towards Aruba. We are going inside Aruba, which means in between Venezuela and Aruba, because it's dead calm, no waves, and it's a shorter trip if you go in between than if you go on the outside of Aruba. If it would be more windy trip, we would go outside because the ocean is much deeper and you have less steep waves. But now there's not that much wind, so we go inside. But we're gonna stay on the Aruba side because there's always a lot of thunder and lightning on the Venezuelan coast, and also the current is going to be against us, but at the coastline of Aruba it's less strong than on the in the middle. So that's why we will hug the coast of Aruba, and well, if we see lightning above Aruba, because that is an option as well, then we would steer a little bit more to the port side and go in the middle again. But there's also after Aruba and before Cabo de Vela, there are some very tiny islands and some buoys, and we want to go around it. So it doesn't matter that we hug the coast of Aruba, because we still need to go a bit more out to the ocean.
A calm first shift for me, only lightning in the distance.
First night, Vanity is next to me, Alonzi a little bit next to them. We're all doing the same speed, like 4.5 knots. It's a calm night. We have a little bit of current against us. We're coming along the coastline of Aruba. It's dark, so you only see the lights of Aruba. But we've got a beautiful clear night. The clouds moved out, and we have a almost full moon shining on us, and it's a very nice evening. So yeah, what do you do on a night shift? I'm a little bit too awake to do my 20 minutes nap times, and also it's between Venezuela and Aruba, it's a little bit more busy here than during the Atlantic crossing or crossing from Bequia to Curaçao. There's much more traffic here, so it doesn't feel very comfortable to do my 20-minute sleep cycles. So I'm just watching a sleep's getting me, and I'm watching a show about the Sandman. Good morning at first light. So behind me is exactly what this trip is known for, in between Venezuela, Colombia and ABC Islands. Big thunderclouds above Venezuela and Colombia, and also on top of Aruba is a thundercloud. There you see that mainly thunderclouds form above land and not above the ocean. So it's very rare to have a thundercloud above the ocean. Can be, but it's not very common. We are right in the middle of them. So above me are blue skies, and the moon is still visible, but I'm surrounded by thunderclouds.
The best way to wake up is with dolphins next to your boat. It never gets bored, and it is so calming to watch them swim by. Lucky Bart. So different was it for me to wake up. A very, very good morning, I have to say. Actually a disturbed morning. I don't even know what time it is. Bart woke me up because he caught a fish. Well, I can tell you this is the worst way to be woken up. Oh man!
Maar ik heb er nog één. Ik moet er nog één. I've got one extra, so I need to wheel in one more.
You have two. We caught a tuna and a skipjack tuna, bonita, and a yellowfin tuna. I'm still waking up a little bit. Oh man. Let's find it quite interesting. What did Daddy do?
A fish. A fish.
A fish.
A fish.
So that's the skipjack tuna. It's more red, a bit more blood in the meat, and that's the yellowfin tuna.
It is time for lunch and we have the fresh caught fish on the menu. What are you making?
We've got some tuna.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing some seared tuna. So short baking.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, some clouds with heavy rain and thunder were approaching us, something to keep an eye on.
We have there, Kim.
Sashimi,
Of the yellowfin tuna.
yellowfin tuna, some wasabi, not too much.
How is that? Yeah? Good?
While we were having lunch, we were also fishing. As a consequence, we caught 2 fish again. And there are 2 thunderstorms around us. This one is a little bit to keep an eye on, because the top will move that direction, but that one goes down. So.
Papa, nothing fish.
But now you can see it.
Today.
Yeah, not heavy. So that looks heavy. And we have caught some more fish, so it's a busy during lunchtime. Welcome on board Tranquility. Really, never a dull moment. Something about timing, I think. But let's watch the rain clouds and hopefully it will pass by. I told you before, right? I don't like thunderstorms, so not eating that relaxed at the moment. But no, what can we do? We fastly finished our lunch and we took the fishing line and fish back in. The thunderstorm was approaching us from behind and Manatee and Alonso got caught inside. We were only 2 miles apart.
So we just dodged a big thundercloud. I just showed you. It was forming on our port side, and then it moved with us and north. So that would mean it would hit us. So at first we didn't know what to do and where the cloud was going, so we decided to go north as well, alongside the cloud. Alonso and Manatee were taken by the thunderstorm. They had lightning very close by, and I mean, even we thought it was very close by, and they were right in the middle of it. All of a sudden we saw at the back of the cloud that it was getting less heavy dense, so we made another plan and we jibed and went south, so we would go straight into the rain clouds but not in the thunder cloud, because that was in front of us. And now the thunder cloud is on our starboard side, moving away from us, and we can get back on track a little bit more. So this is well, once again, a really helpful thing to have a radar on board. We don't use it that much, but in these situations it is really helpful. I know you don't like thunder. How's your feeling now?
It's okay, because we monitored it very closely.
Yeah, I sense a little bit of stress.
You wanted to push through. You wanted to stay north. I told you to change course. It had to be said. I don't like thunder.
Well, I think it was very good on you to stay calm in the end and and made a very good decision with me.
Horrible person. For now, the peace and quiet is back on Tranquility.
I know a vis ver weg haar. I know they church.
see a fish far away?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Very good, girl.
And ik zie Bart. En die...
No, 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 no. Not on my mast.
We ended the day with a marvelous sunset. Second night, and we are heading towards the Cabo de Vela, and there is a lot of thunder in the air. It was far away and close to shore, just at the coast of Venezuela, Colombia. But now there are a few forming in the back. I will show you on the radar, and that was a light again. So we are here, Manatee Alonso are behind us, and we want to make this turn, so I'm slowly turning. And as you can see here, there is all these thunders forming, and especially here, this us in the middle. Manatee and Alonso behind, and all the thunder.
Background, any updates for us? Over. Yeah, the storms they're behind us. Both of them are behind us, and we seem to be staying ahead of them. Over.
You can see it's completely dark outside there. But the clouds did caught up on us, and we were soon covered in clouds with lightning all around us, and heavy rain and wind. And now we're sitting inside. The rain just kicked in and the wind and some lightning.
Rain and thundercloud is moved past us now. Only on our port side is a system, but it seems to be moving along with it and stays a bit more above land. So I think we have a bit more tranquility around here.
A sunny morning. After all the thunderstorms and rain last night, the sun is back, blue sky, perfect. And, well, we think that we might see whales close to the coastline, to the shoreline. I filmed it a bit, but it's hard to see, but you can see all the spray water coming out. So yeah, it must be. We are heading towards Cabo de Vela. Our plan is to make a stopover there just for a few hours to see this part of Colombia you don't often visit. And then we want to continue. We don't want to stay there for one night because of the possible thunderstorms.
Yeah, and also we arrive early in the morning at Cabo de Vela, and that means we have to be at anchor on the boat for an entire day and night with Liz. Liz seeing land but not able to go off the boat because we have our dinghy deflated. So that means for us, yeah, just a couple of hours, shut down the engine, a little bit less noise, and and maybe say goodbye to Grant and Carla, because they're gonna stay there for one more night and then continue along the Colombian coast, but they don't go to Santa Marta. So that will be a goodbye to them, but not a farewell, because we're probably gonna see them again in Panama.
We just had a break for 2 hours to let the engine cool off, do an engine check and say goodbye to Alonso, because they will stay here for a few more days. And yeah, we will continue towards Santa Marta, where we will arrive tomorrow midday. And we want to leave right now because of the weather.
Yeah, we're too late because clouds are still coming over us, but it's only a rain cloud, so that's fine, just a little bit of rain. The thunder cloud was moving the other direction, and well, the good thing about the rain cloud is it brings some wind, so we have 13 till 15 knots of wind, and we can actually sail and doing 5.2 knots instead of use the engine. So we got because we're a bit scared of squalls, we've got a double reef, and I thought the wind might blow from the other direction, so I have my spinnaker pole on the wrong side, so that's why I rolled in the genoa to fit in this spinnaker pole and use it to keep it steady. But hey, we're doing good speeds on this setup. And then we are actually sailing. Well, this is what they say. After Cabo de Vela, there's always some wind. So even when there is nothing predicted, there will be some wind. This is what we calculated. This is why we chose this weather window with no wind at all. And we might hoped that after Cabo de Vela there would be some wind and we could sail the final part. Normally, when it will be blowing like 20 knots in the forecast, it can probably go up till 35-40 knots up here. So now we are only doing 13 to 15 knots. And that's, well, if this stays the entire way, then we know we did a good job going with this weather window. Manatee is under sail as well. They have brought their genoa out, and yeah, sounds nice. We have some threatening thunder still behind me. Yeah, I'm gonna take a close look at the radar if that thing moves to us. It was at 60 nautical miles away just when I just looked at it.
On the menu for tonight, tuna melt and seared tuna.
Again, a beautiful sunset this day. It's a good day. I cannot complain. I mean, you might say the waves are a bit annoying, But I mean, we're sailing. We have a beautiful sunset, and we are sailing one of the most notorious passages, the number 5. It's in the number 5 of most notorious passages, and we just have amazing weather. We thought it might be no wind at all, and we are sailing now. I mean, the little waves that are a bit from all the sides and are rolling us over are nothing compared to what it could be over here. So perfect sailing.
Yeah, Melody, over.
Hey Andre, just to let you know, we're gonna put in a third reef, so we'll make some maneuvers on the water. So it's on purpose. Over. What's happening tonight is exactly why we didn't want to sail here with the predict wind forecast of 23 knots, because we shouldn't have any wind at this moment, and we are sailing in 20 knots. So we're gonna put in a third reef, just to be sure if the wind picks up even more in a squall or something, so we are prepared.
Okay, that maneuver didn't happen that smooth as we had in mind. We made one basic mistake, but luckily we could fix it.
Yeah, normally I would to protect the Genoa from one side to the other, when we have it as a butterfly sailing setup, to get the Genoa to the other side. What we normally do is to roll in the Genoa and roll it out on the other side. I was too far on a beam reach already, so there was too much pressure on the Genoa, and that's why I wasn't able to roll it in. You should roll it in when you're dead downwind still. Yeah, but we forgot that the Genoa line from the furler went over each other and pulled itself tight, so I wasn't able to roll in the Genoa completely, just like 3 or 4 turns. But well, good thing is we had the mainsail up, so we could sail dead downwind again, and when you do that, it blocks off the Genoa. The Genoa has no
Tension.
yeah, the Genoa has no tension anymore, and I could, with my fingers, get the ropes loose, and I could roll in the further. Job done.
Besides the triple reef, we had a calm night. No thunder, no squalls, just a perfect calm night. We almost made it to Santa Marta, just a few hours to go. We can actually sail, and that is really nice. And I have to say, we are even more enthusiastic about sailing right now, because
We can definitely say under sail that we are faster without the fin slate, and I don't think the 0.3 knots that we thought we would be slower with the fin slate on our boat. I think we are more to 1 knot faster now without the fin slate. So yeah, we're sailing with 30 knots. We're doing 4.5 knots of boat speed through the water. I can remember myself from Boulogne-sur-Mer doing beam reach at 60 knots and only going 4.9. I have to see if that's correct, And now with 16 knots and not even beam reach, we are almost doing 6 knots of boat speed. So that's almost a knot faster, and it feels like we are reborn again sailing. It's so much better. And here with behind me the Sierra Nevada. The Katabatic winds are kicking in. It's not as much as they would be when there's more wind here. So we just have a very nice 17 knots of wind. Perfect. We're almost rounding the cape to the Bay of Santa Marta. So, how do you sail one of the most notorious passages for sailors? Choose a weather window with not that much wind and you have good winds at the end. It worked out for us. Perfect. Santa Marta, Colombia. Here we are. Well, this was it. If you have any questions, please let us know. And for now, goodbye and thank you very much for watching. Fair winds to you all.